All right, so the first thing we'll do here is we'll put in this storm network using our newly created parts from our MSI manager. So the first thing we'll do is kind of work, left to right. We're going to create a network, and this network is going to be our storm sewer. It's gravity based, and let's go ahead and put it on a layer. So I'm going to do instead of a TO, even though I'm doing takeoff, I'm just going to call this utility. So UTL-storm, and I'm going to call this network. And for the storm, we'll use the cyan color, and we'll protect it, and we're going to put it in a new category called site utilities. In here, site utilities. Close that and click OK. Now that's created a network. What it didn't close the dialog box. So let's make sure. All right. So yep, make sure I hit close. I didn't hit close. So that's created the network. Now if we look here under our Project Explorer, we've got the storm sewer network. And what we're going to do next is create a utility run. All right. So this utility run is going to be this one. All right. So I'm going to come in here and we'll call this storm run main or one, whatever you want to call it, but we'll just call it storm run. The default layer is storm network. The material, which is the native ground, is going to be our on-site earth. And we don't need a starting station, but we could if we knew. Actually, let's go ahead and put in a starting station. So if we look at the storm profiles, so if we take a look here at the storm profile, we can see that 0 is at the main storm manhole. All right, so it's going from 0 and we're going up, and the last structure is at the end there. Okay, so we look at the profile that's on sheet 8. So I'm going to leave it at 0. I'm going to put in 0 as my starting station. I don't have a reference alignment, so I'm not going to worry about that. And I'm just going to go ahead and click apply. Now we could create another one. You can see it automatically increments. So if we had multiple runs, we could do that. I'm just going to close. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to create my utility node. The first one, so I'm going to come down here and we're going to name it exactly the way that they have it in the plan. So this would be SDMH6A, and it is the storm manhole, basically for the proposed junction box. So this is going to tie in to the existing storm system. So the layer, I'm going to space bar that, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in utility dash storm and dash structure. All right, so I'm going to separate my structures from my pipes and my network so I can kind of turn things on and off. I don't have to worry about the thickness or the weight, but we will protect it. We'll put it under our site utilities and click close. The type is going to be a manhole, and the manhole is going to be my storm manhole. And it's not existing, so I'm not going to check that. I'm going to pick on location, and I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to grab the center of this. Now, it looks like a hatch pattern. I'm just going to eyeball it in, probably get it close. Right there is probably good. And over here we have the rim elevation, which is 21.03. And then our invert elevation, which would be our invert out, it's like 1737. So 17.37, tab, and then apply. So that's put in that storm structure. And if we look at a 3D view, and we come in here, we can see that we've got that structure in here in 3D. All right. So next, we are going to put in the next junction box. We're going to put the nodes in first, and then we connect them all with pipes. So this next one is going to be, we'll call it CI5A, and it's going to be the combo inlet. And you can put as much information in that description as you'd like. I'm just going to keep it combo inlet. It's going to be a junction box, and we only got the one. It's not existing, and I'm going to go ahead and drop it in. We'll just pick this center point here, and we're going to use the gray inlet. So that's going to be our 20.90, and then our invert. I'm going to use the invert out because that's basically the bottom of the structure. If it gave us a real invert, then we, a very bottom, we could use that, but I'm going to use the invert out. There may be a 1/2 inch sump in here, so we could take this invert out and actually use it and subtract a 1/2 foot. I'm going to use this 17.49 so you can see the you'll see when I put the pipe in, it's actually going to use that. It's going to help me edit it later on. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that, and you can see it puts in that rectangular structure or square. So now I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to do the same thing. It's looking for a location. I'm going to change the name. So this one's going to be 4A. So because I'm working backwards, unfortunately, it's not going to increment for me. But this one will be basically the center of this point right here, and that's going to be 21.71, tab, wrong, 21.21, the grate. All right, so I'm not using my top of curve, I don't need that. My invert elevation, again, using the out, 17.77, apply that. Got one over here, so go ahead and drop in that one there. This one is going to be 3A, and my invert or grate is 21.21. My invert elevation is going to be 18.00. Set that one in, and we'll come up in here, grab these two. So I'm going to put another one, hit the center here, and that's going to be 2A, and its grate is 21.99. This one's going to be out 18.32. Apply that. We'll do this one over here. Same thing. That one looks to be 21.99 and 18.50. Make sure we name it. It is 1A. And apply that. Okay, let's make sure we got this one. So this one, yeah, that one looks okay. All right, so now we've got basically the structures. What I can then do is close this. I got all my structures in, and now I can come in and I can create the pipe. So storm sewer, utility run, invert is the elevation type. And I'm just going to call this P 1. I don't think they name the pipes. No, they don't name the pipes. They just give a distance. Again, this could be 18-inch RCP. This is all new, not existing. It's circular. It's the one that I have. Right, it's 18-inch, and I'm just going to go from node to node. So I can either pick the node, and you can say invert to inlet distance. You can see it picks up the invert elevation, and I'm going to leave that the way it is. And then the to node down here is this guy here, and then I'm going to click apply, and that's going to create that 18-inch pipe. So if we look over here, you see there's my pipe. So now I'll come back. Actually, let's split this. So now what I can do is go from 2A to 3A, right? Which is, no, it's actually 4. So I'll apply that one. I can go from that structure, which is 3A, which actually should be 3B, but I'll rename it later. And then that one's going to go to 4A, drop that pipe in. And then I'm going to go from 4A to that structure, which is 5A. And I'm going to go from 5A to that structure. Oops. Storm manhole. So there's my pipe network and my utility run. And what I can then do is I can make another run that would encompass this this network here. Okay. So that's pretty much kind of showing you how I can drop in that utility. So we'll go through and do the other ones. I'll do the storm. I'm going to drop in the storm network one in a similar fashion for the roof drains here around the pump island. I'm not going to video that. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. You go ahead and practice dropping it in, and hopefully we come up with the same results.